The Nerd Academy podcast is released weekly at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, available on our website at www.thenerdacademypodcast.com and wherever you listen to podcasts. You can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. You can also help support the show by going to patreon.com/The Nerd Academy podcast, where every donation allows us to bring you more exciting content every week.
On which planet did
I
Luke
can tell
Skywalker
you everything
and Ben Solo
about this planet,
confront the Knights of Ren in
except
the
its
second
motherfucking name.
Buy merch. Your winner, by way of technical knockout.
We have some beautiful musicians.
I am the king. I am the reigning champion. I will always be above you. I am bigger than you. I am wiser than you. I am stronger than you. I am better than you. I am God.
Hi, I'm Jarod, the Trivia Loser Jedi.
And I'm Scooter.
And we're here to tell you that we aren't that great at trivia, and I mean we're downright poo-poo at it. Yeah, ever since then I've been dogging Scotty to step back in the ring with me. No questions about El Frono will be asked, and it'll be a good time this April. Now I have this like imaginary rivalry with you in my fucking head, where it's like, I want J-Ro!
Jarod, you lost to me in trivia. You're a loser. You're a loser. I will not. You lost to me in trivia.
Jarod lost to me in trivia. That charlatan friend, mind you, who has been ducking me and running from me for years now.
Your lust for J-Ro will destroy you.
And you will learn to rue the day you underestimated the power of the Bi Republic.
Is this your king? Is this your king?
Think about, the things you applied to content creating and the things that you maybe have held, you hold to a high standard that people also love. And there's that one little dark spot in all of this. And you're like, man, I can't believe that I've gotten this far and just being a part of a bigger community. But there's this one little black spot in this beautiful Monet of a painting. And it's just the fact that I kicked your ass in trivia. Literally nothing makes me happier.
Good morning, class, and welcome back to the Nerd Academy podcast, your source for nerddom news and commentary. I'm your host, Jarod Bachman-Stubbs, and joining me, as always, is your resident Green Lantern, Professor Travis Grossman.
It actually played that time.
I was about to ask, did you actually get to see the promo this time? So I figured out what the problem was. I added myself to the stream so that when we came back from it playing, I would already be on screen. So that's how I figured out it didn't work. It also, when I did that on KNR a week or so ago, it also cut off the very end. So you didn't get the literally nothing makes me happier. So I figured it out. I just have to add myself after it's done playing. We are professionals here who learn on the job. But yeah, we have we're not going to make any bones about it. You all know what we're going to be talking about first. A very chaotic week happened last week. This I used that word twice in one sentence. Great job. A lot to talk about. The Zachary, Levi, Shazam stuff broke literally just as I hit stop. So yeah, lots to talk about this week. Lots to unpack. But first, before we jump into that, we do have a word from our sponsors at sundaysbloodymary.com. I just have to pull it up here first. There we go. You guys know the drill by now. Sunday's Bloody Mary is the one-stop spot for the most badass Bloody Mary accoutrement in the multiverse. I'm going to say galaxy. We say multiverse here because it's comic book stuff. Such as their 3-time award-winning Spicy Caesar mix. Yes, that was another thing that happened is just as we finished recording not terribly long ago, I saw the notification that Sunday's Bloody Mary has now won their 3rd consecutive Drunken Tomato Award for excellence in Bloody Mary mix. They also have their mild and traditional mixes as well. And if you're trying to get some garnishes up in there, they also have their award-winning dilly beans, pickled asparagus, and pickled okra, as well as some rim salt to get in there as well. So get on over to sundaysbloodymary.com/shop. Use code TNAP, TNAP at checkout. You get 10% off your order, and you help out your favorite nerds while you do it. All right, Travis. Before we get into this big, messy, complicated, unfortunate story that we're leading in with. How you doing today, buddy?
I had an I Survived the Week beer on Tuesday. Notably, it was Tuesday. Yeah, it's been a long week. Good week. It's been a very good week. But a very packed week.
Yeah.
And I am excited for it to be over.
I understand that it has been the same over here as well. And, I had a wonderful birthday. I had a wonderful time. Everything was coming up, Jarod, for that birthday. We all went to Dave & Buster's, and I, because there was a misunderstanding with our server, got a whole ass second order of garlic truffle fries for free, which was the highlight of my day. I do not want to make any bones about that. I got free garlic truffle fries. I'm slowly mastering the art of the air fryer, which I feel like a god now. Let me just say that. Like I have never felt more power in my life than reheating.
One good reheat pizza.
I have not. I've not tried pizza yet. I've not done pizza yet. I'm still trying to figure out like the ideal time for nuking wings. It's not even nuking anymore, but like for reheating wings and reheating fries. Once I master that, I will feel safe graduating to something that could prove to be as messy as a pizza. God forbid I explode it.
Yeah, I usually undershoot a little bit, but like you said, the alternative is that it goes haywire.
Yeah,
but it's just so good.
Oh my God. I heated up my garlic fries from Dave & Buster's the next day. And like I put them in a little long, but like me, I like my stuff crunchy and crispy. Like anybody who's ever made s'mores with me knows, like I like that shit to look like Anakin Skywalker. Like I just light my marshmallows on fucking fire. So that's never been a problem for me. So I was like, okay, it's a little bunch of cruncha, but it's still good. But yeah, also, just, as you guys all saw the promo, just going to double back to that real quick before we jump into things. April 10th, it's coming fast. I leave for Louisiana Tuesday morning. So you guys are, I don't think it takes a whole lot of deductive reasoning to recognize there won't be anything coming out on the channel in that window of about 2 weeks. As I will be.
Let me tell you, I got things to do, so it's fine.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to make a joke that like all the news is going to happen, which
I mean that too. Yeah, of course. Like we're going to find out
will be happening while we're in Louisiana. Like that.
Dark Horse Comics is going to start their cinematic universe while you're in Louisiana.
What'd you say?
So Dark Horse Comics is going to start their cinematic universe. The DHCU.
The DHCU. Yeah, so whenever we come back, there will be a handful of episodes to do recaps. Obviously, there will be a Star Wars Celebration roundtable. I'm hoping to have a couple friends who will be present, as well as some friends that I will be with in Louisiana for Scotty J. Rose's wedding. Speaking of Scotty, like I said, April 10th, check that out. Some point during the week while we're gone, our season review for Bad Batch Season 2 we'll be releasing. That is my plan to happen like in the middle of that first week while we're gone, to hold everybody over until we're able to jump into recapping Celebration when we get back into the good old Keystone State. But with all of that stalling out of the way, I'm just going to jump right into the article here. This is the version from March 27th. Johnathon Majors charged with assault and harassment following New York City arrest. Johnathon Majors was arraigned.
Run out of the room really quick.
What was that?
While you go through this, I have to run out of the room really quick.
Okay.
This is not a bit. I want to point that out. Like, I'm not about to do like something funny. This is very serious. Please take this very seriously. I realized it's me saying I have to run out of the room, and I should clarify. I broke him.
It was the like sorrowful. This is not a bit. Okay, get the fuck out of here. This is a very serious story. Travis is accidentally funny. I also should have said this is Rebecca Ruman at Variety. Johnathon Majors was arraigned on Sunday on several assault and harassment charges, according to Manhattan DA's office. In the complaint, the unnamed female accuser claims the defendant did strike her about the face with an open hand, causing substantial pain and a laceration behind the ear, and also claims he put his hands on her neck, causing bruising and substantial pain. Majors was arrested on Saturday in Manhattan in an alleged domestic dispute. He was charged with several counts of assault in the third degree, 3 counts of attempted assault in the third degree, and 1 count of aggravated harassment in the second degree. And 1 count of harassment in the second. Okay, and 1 count of harassment in the second degree. Aggravated and then just harassment back to back. I think I read that right. The DA's office says a judge released Majors on his own recognizance and granted a limited order of protection. His attorney has disputed the claim, saying that Johnathon Majors is completely innocent and is provably the victim of an altercation with the woman he knows. His criminal defense lawyer, Priya Chaudhary, added, "We are quickly gathering and presenting evidence to the district attorney with the expectation that all charges will be dropped imminently." Chaudhary also says there is video footage from the vehicle where the alleged incident took place, witness testimony from the driver and onlookers, and 2 written statements from the woman recanting the allegations. A representative for Majors also denied the allegations. He has done nothing wrong, his publicist told Variety over the weekend. We look forward to clearing his name and clearing this up. Majors has recently appeared in Creed 3 and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. We all know that. So, at the beginning of this story, I do want to just put out there, and Travis isn't back yet, but we did talk a little bit about this at the beginning. All accusations of this nature should be taken grievously seriously. And I do not want to turn this situation into some type of, we're going to prioritize the movies and the franchises and so on and so forth above the actual real life people who are involved. The potential harm done here should be the utmost important thing. The woman in question, her well-being should be put leagues and leagues and leagues and leagues ahead of the potential future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I don't give a damn how much money is involved and fandom and so on. That said, situations like this are often messy. They are often hard to parse through. They are often difficult to gain a full understanding of from a bird's eye view. And simply put, I think this is very early to have a concrete opinion on. Now, there are factors I do want to discuss. Namely, I do want to call attention to the fact that Major's attorney saying that they have video evidence that will exonerate Johnathon Majors. That is something that I don't see any attorney throwing around lightly. Travis and I, we are not legal experts. We are not lawyers. We do not purport to be. But I also do know that is not something I think any attorney would just throw out there willy-nilly, that there may or may not be video evidence to exonerate Mr. Majors, as well as the driver and other witnesses and these other this alleged recanting of the statement. Now, the recanting of the statement, this is where I very much want to come down on a lot of other people I see in this space, namely men who like to cover the same type of news we cover. Regardless of where you fall in the Amber Heard v. Johnny Depp cinematic universe of legal woes, that trial was used as a rallying point by some of the worst people to make some of the worst fucking points. And again, regardless of how you feel about it, I do not think it is a controversial statement to say some of the worst fucking men on the internet have taken that trial and have run with it to use it as a vehicle with which to undo everything the Me Too era has helped push forward. And the amount of dudes I have seen take Major's attorney saying that the statement was recanted as proof that all of this can go away now, it fucking infuriates me.
And here's my thing with that too. They don't care, right? Like,
exactly.
When the story broke, before anything was allegedly recanted, before there was video evidence, these same people were still just saying, well, he was falsely accused.
Yeah.
Because that's their default. Oh, the woman's crying wolf to get money and he's falsely accused. And it's like, what? How? Yeah. Where? I understand you've watched an episode of Law and Order, but I have bad news.
Written and executively produced by Dick Wolf. This is not. But yeah, and it just really frustrates me that there is so much like immediate, okay, it's recanted. First of all, and again, I'm not trying to come down on either side here. I'm just really disappointed in the men. I as much as I loathe the like pseudo activism of just saying the men in this fandom and moving on like that did anything, but like the men within fandom right now who are doing this, like the statements were allegedly recanted. Okay, it's his lawyer saying that. And the crux of this whole situation is that allegedly Major's girlfriend, put that in quotation marks, again, not super sure on the relationship. That's what a lot of reports are saying, that she was having a mental health episode, that somebody was in the middle of a psychotic break that, Majors tried to intervene on, allegedly was the person who called the police. Again, this is all alleged. We do not have a concrete understanding of this situation yet. But it's trying to use the reports that we have as puzzle pieces here. Even if all of that is exonerating, I have a hard time believing that the person who was in the middle of a psychotic break, had two written statements recanting like, come on, man. Like, at this point in time, we're gonna play the card of she's crazy and she recanted the statement. Those two things cancel each other out. We need to let this play out, and the last thing I want to do, and I said while Travis was gone, was to make this about cinematic universes and make this about movies and make this about all that stuff, because this woman, if she experienced abuse at the hands of Johnathon Majors, her importance should not be stacked up against a handful of movies and TV shows. That is inhumane. That is repugnant. That is disgusting. But even if we are going to deal on that level, Motherfucker, he's playing Kang the Conqueror. There is no character ever easier to recast for reasons that are baked into the DNA of the character. If evidence comes forward that Johnathon Majors is guilty of what is being alleged here, there is no good reason to stand by him. There is no good reason to defend him. It is disappointing that what could have been one of the greatest actors of our time, who has been on an ungodly role of fantastic performances, turns out to be a scumfuck and gets cast aside. But them's the breaks if he is the piece of shit that is being alleged here. And again, there's video evidence exonerating him from his attorney. There is also a shit ton of people from the New York acting scene who are talking about, yeah, Johnathon Majors has always been an aggressive, abusive piece of shit. Now, those are random people saying shit on the internet, Yeah, maybe people are talking shit. Maybe people are talking out of their asses. God knows that there is we would be here all day if we wanted to count the amount of times that there has been some unhinged, bad faith, group of people who just wanted to muddy the waters. And I'm not talking about any type of SJW, whatever bullshit you want to put in that slot. I'm talking about like troll farms who are here to sow discord.
You said SJW and your body instinctively did an Alex Jones cough.
I know. Someone's listening to Knowledge Fight. Hold on. What do you mean Alex Jones cough? First of all.
Just the way you cough, like you slipped into your Alex Jones impression somehow mid-cough.
He's taking over. Wake up. But yeah. This situation is very complicated. It is very messy. I look forward to having more clarity as time goes on. From what I understand, he will be seen in court next in early May. So, yeah. And again, and this is another thing that I want to we need to have better conversations about this. I've been seeing people doing this whole thing about one false accusation and look at everything Johnathon Majors has already lost, talking about his U.S. Army ad deal, which if you're new here, I'm just going to tell you now, someone losing an ad deal with the U.S. military is not going to get a whole lot of tears out of Travis and I. That said, they pulled the ads. They did not cancel the sponsorship. Marvel has not fired Johnathon Majors to our knowledge. There are rumors, but those rumors started the moment Majors was arrested. The conversations around this stuff need to be had with more care. And it is really, really disappointing to see people talk about this in terms of cinematic universes and in terms that make it clear they were never going to believe the alleged victim here, no matter what. No matter what. Again, I hate the do-betters. I hate the empty platitudes, but goddamn, I do not understand how in 2023 we were reporting this like it is 2012. This is mind-boggling, and this is, again, wherever you fall on the Depp Heard stuff. This is what I was talking about when I said it was the worst people on the internet who were championing the circus that whole trial was. This is what we deal with a year out from that. Look at the Megan Thee Stallion, Tory Lanez situation. Every limp dick dude, bro, Andrew Tate, wannabe, sneako, fuckface made it their entire personality to find a way to make that Megan Thee Stallion's fault. When that woman did nothing but literally get shot in the fucking foot. We have lost so much progress, so much forward momentum, and it is because it has become cool again to say that every woman who comes forward with some type of abuse allegation is lying and doing it for money, even though we all know, like civilized human beings, that so rarely happens. And that no serious person would put themselves through that amount of scrutiny for all this.
My only pushback to what you just said is the most unfortunate kind, where I don't think we ever had that momentum in the first place. Like, I have talked to so many people that I've had to explain, like, in the terms you just said, right? Like, you're right. You're going to hear about the one time in a million someone faked and, like, someone alleged something that didn't happen. You hear about it because it's so outlandish that someone would go that far. Like, that's so insane that you would lie about that. That doesn't mean that every time you hear someone coming forward with allegations that it's a lie or that it's false. It makes absolutely no sense. You can't prove a negative. You can't assign a negative to the situation that you don't know anything about. And having, like, I've had people in my life I've had to explain that to. And like I said, like, you go to anywhere online, anything like this. When Justin Roiland got arrested, right?
Yeah.
Johnathon Majors, like, I think I got 2 or 3 tweets down before I just saw falsely accused. That was all the tweet said. Falsely accused. Within an hour of the story breaking. And it's like, you.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, like, I hate to I hate to open this situation up to a presentation that would say that, like, oh, it doesn't matter how he's found in court, blah blah blah, all of that stuff. But again, it is also worth mentioning, we don't know who the alleged victim is here. We do not know the nature of the power and wealth imbalance between them. Same thing with the Justin Roiland situation. So, like, I'm sorry, like, I am going to need to see the proof before I just take a gajillionaire getting a gajillionaire being found innocent at face value. Like, you're coming in with the big guns when it comes to attorneys. I don't know what your victim can afford in the way of an attorney. You know, which again, it's its own discussion about, you know, wealth and capital in the United States. And that is, it is all part of this stew of unfortunate power imbalance. But, you know, I am going to need to see this exonerating video evidence that the attorney is talking about, because if your only argument is the gajillionaire was found innocent, I would like to point to his attorneys that cost $1 gajillion for a reason. You know? And again, I'm not, I don't want this to come across as though I have, like, made up my mind on this. I haven't. But Justin Roiland waving the flag of, see, they dropped their charges. I've seen those DMs, man. I saw your DMs, Justin.
That's my and my point of going to the
and
Justin
you got
Roiland,
Rick and Morty money, dog. You can't, wubba lubba dub dub those fucking DMs out of existence, and maybe you'll have me. But as long as I can read those, you have the money to outlast your opponent.
Yeah, that was the most recent example I could think of. And
but it's a great example. It's a great example.
We had DMs to read. Like, there were, in the post I saw, there were DMs in the same post, and I read them and almost threw up, and then read the comments, and I might have actually thrown up. I don't remember. And that's kind of, it's the unfortunate way that we consume media and news now, that it's so blisteringly fast that you're expected to make, you know, a judgment call off of a headline. And so, you know, if by the grace of the mouse what Johnathon Majors' lawyer is saying is 100% accurate. He did nothing wrong, and he's going to come out of this squeaky clean. I'll continue to support him.
Yeah.
That's probably not going to happen. I'm a betting man. Probably like a bad thing, but I'm a betting man, and I would bet that isn't how this goes.
Yeah. And again, there's also something to be said for we could end up with a situation that is a lot messier than just a simple he did nothing and she lied, or he strangled her and she did nothing wrong. Obviously that's not to say that like if we find out he's guilty that anybody could do anything to warrant this kind of treatment. But there is also something to be said for we might find out that this situation is far more complicated than just Johnathon Majors, paragon of good, paragon of evil. And then unless and until we are willing to have more sensible conversations like this, we are going to have grifters who make it their entire claim and ability to engage with the public about galvanizing people into the worldview that's going to be easier, which is the actor I really like isn't a scumfuck. So, like I said, we will be covering this closely as we can. I hope everybody involved is doing okay. Again, especially with the crux of this being that the alleged victim was in the throes of some type of psychological break and mental health episode. I hope they are doing better than they were this past weekend. And just well wishes to everybody involved. Take allegations seriously, cover this shit responsibly, and fucking, I hate saying it, but just do better with this shit. Oh my God. Again, every person who the moment Johnathon Majors' attorney released the statement did a victory lap, and this is going to be the last word on it for now, shame on you. Shame on you. Like, I have never seen a group of people who are more willing to just like take a circular argument at face value in my life. I don't want this to have happened either. But the fact of the matter remains, there are a lot of people with a lot of shit to say, and we don't know shit yet. So, Travis, any other thoughts before we move on to stories with far less far lesser stakes than this one?
No thoughts, head empty.
Valid. Speaking of head empty people, we don't like Ike. This was a story that brought a smile to my face. And the first time in my life I think I have ever been happy to see the word layoffs. This is from Yahoo Entertainment, Adam Chitwood. Also a Collider writer, if I remember correctly. Isaac Ike Perlmutter, chairman of Marvel Entertainment, has been laid off at Disney. Marvel Entertainment will be folded to the larger Disney business units, and a Disney spokesperson confirmed. The move comes as Disney looks to eliminate 7,000 jobs in multiple rounds of layoffs that kicked off this week in what Bob Iger, CEO, calls part of a strategic realignment. Bob Grosser, a longtime third-party Marvel security consultant who is also considered to be Perlmutter's fixer, is also out, according to insiders' knowledge of the situation. Pardon me. In addition, Disney has terminated the employment of Rob Steffens, who served as co-president of Marvel Entertainment, and John Terziton, who held the position of chief counsel for the same division. According to The Hollywood Reporter, Grosser assisted in the investigation of media leaks at Marvel before, which included the incident in 2012 where the website Latino Review had revealed Marvel information about Marvel's plans to release its first Guardians of the Galaxy. God, I remember. Oh my God, I just had a flashback to when I was like little baby Jared first got into like watching YouTube journalism about comic book movies, and I first got into Comic Book Cast. And I remember I read that and I heard Armin's voice say Latino Review. It was a fucking flashback. Anyway, before it was officially announced in an email, that was posted on the same site. Ghost refers to Latino Review as a fanboy website. But yeah, anyway, all of that to say, what is important here? First of all, layoffs, bad. Normal people losing their jobs because of corporate restructuring, strategic rearrangement, whatever bullshit verbose language I want to throw out there. That sucks. However, sometimes legitimate pieces of shit get caught in the crossfire, such as Ike Perlmutter. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with Isaac Perlmutter, he is basically the reason why it took 5 years longer than it should have to get Black Panther and Captain Marvel movies. He's a friend of Trump, very rarely photographed Ike Perlmutter. Yeah, he's an all-around scumfuck who was constantly saying that superhero stories starring women and people of color and queer people would not sell and therefore should not be made. And it was not until Kevin Feige basically was able to scrounge up all of the power that Perlmutter had that we have the projects we have now, which again, why are we getting all these stories all of a sudden? Why is Hollywood going woke? It's not going woke. There, aside from all of the reasons that you should just go watch the Some More News video about has Hollywood gone woke, which I highly recommend because it hasn't. It's a made up phrase, but in that way, why are all these stories happening now? Because they can now. Aside from profit motive and the fact that yes, people generally want to see diverse groups of people in their media. Captain Marvel was supposed to happen in phase 2. Black Panther was supposed to happen in phase 2. Those got blocked by Perlmutter. I just want everybody to kind of take that in. Just take the idea in that we would have gotten those stories around or before 2015.
But Jared, Marvel had the entirety of the Infinity Saga planned out from Iron Man.
Yes, you're entirely right. I forgot. You're right, Travis. I forgot.
I'm sick of being called a grifter. I'm sick of being.
This is the classic. So it's a statistic that you are most likely to be in a car accident within a mile radius of your home, right?
Yes.
And people often apply random garb to why that is. And the actual reason is it is where you are most of the time. Therefore, it is most likely. People are seeing all these stories come on like, well, it's going woke. Everything's going woke. The cabal is making them go woke. The cabal can be a number of things, by the way. And in reality, it's just the creative team's going, oh, cool, we can write this story now? Sick. We can use this character now? Sick.
Yeah, again, call the MCU woke as much as you want to. There's also, again, the severe lack of certain groups, such as the Jewish community. It's none of it's worth truly engaging with. But all of that to say, it is a good day after all, because Ike Perlmutter is officially gone, as are a lot of his lackeys. I would like everybody to join in on a hearty fuck Ike Perlmutter. Leave that comment down below. Fuck Ike Perlmutter. But yeah. Moving along, we're just going to knock out all these Marvel stories up top, I guess, here real quick. Like I said, I told Travis, I said I have the notes in no particular order. The only thing that I wanted to talk about first was the Johnathon Majors stuff for obvious reasons. But we have some set photos from Captain America New World Order that are giving us some interesting details. Maybe we get a handful of set photos. We've seen Harrison Ford on set, obviously playing Thaddeus Thunderbolt Ross. I didn't see this meme personally. But I was told about this. Now I sound like Alex Jones. I'm going to report on a meme for 30 minutes. But I was made aware of a meme by Taylor where it was like that infamous smile from Homelander after he wastes that guy at the end of the third season, where he has his "I could shoot somebody on Fifth Avenue" moment. And apparently the text on it was Marvel realizing they could make the Incredible Hulk 2 if they just call it Captain America 4. Because Thunderbolt Ross, the leader, and now Liv Tyler is back as Betty Ross. The hits don't stop coming. This latest round of set photos, I will screen share this so you guys can see some of them that I find very interesting. We have, obviously, like I said, we have one of our first looks back at Liv Tyler. Hello there, welcome home. We also see them all at a graveyard, what looks to be a funeral scene with Sam's arm in a sling, which would make one believe that we may be looking at a character death in this movie. Now, I am of two minds with this. Travis, what are you thinking before I start to loudly theory craft?
This is clearly the end of the movie. As we all know, the plot of this movie will incite the classic Captain America run of 1911, where Iron Man is both resurrected and killed in the same 2 hours.
Sensational.
But they're actually at the funeral of Peter Parker.
Oh no! I don't like that. This random kid they met in New York.
Yeah.
Oh no!
Got hit by a bus.
Got hit by a bus.
Got caught lacking.
That's fucked up, Travis. Okay. I have two characters who I think this could be, but I don't think either of them are actually dead. I think it is either Thunderbolt Ross himself or Bucky. And in either direction, the post-credit is like a from them waking up, and that is the inciting incident for them to be on the Thunderbolts.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm really leaning Bucky. And I'm really leaning Bucky because I think it would be interesting if Bucky, who again, people keep bringing up the verbiage that's being used around Sam, like earning the shield every time we see him, and, whether or not he should be leading the Avengers and all of this stuff, which I think is people using an irresponsible shorthand, I don't think Sam has to earn the shield. He did. He earned the shield when Steve gave it to him. And he decided to pick up the shield in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And I don't think this is him earning the title so much as it's all right, this is going to be your first big adventure as the new Captain America. But it's just easier to say it as earning it. In that same way, Bucky does not need to be redeemed at this point. He carries the trauma and guilt for things that he did not choose to do. And as a character, I think, feels obligated to always give it his all to make up for all of that shit. Now, I think you could make an argument that something could happen here within the confines of this story that leads to Bucky falling in duty, but secretly being scooped up by Allegra de Fontaine and kind of curried off to the side. He wakes up and it's hey, blah, 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 blah. Welcome back, Winter Soldier. You are now part of the Thunderbolts. And, people are talking why would Bucky throw in with this group of people? Why would Bucky be doing something that seems kind of counterintuitive to the arc that he's on? And it might just have to do with the fact that he doesn't really have a choice. The government scooped him up. The government scooped him up when he's supposed to be dead. And they're hey, you play for us again. whatever fuckery is happening there, whatever he agrees to comply with that, is all up for debate and is, the kind of stuff you can build a movie around. I also think there's a chance that the same thing happens to Thunderbolt Ross himself. I have a hard time believing they got Harrison Ford for this fucking role for him to only be in Captain America. And again, maybe, Robert Redford was really only in The Winter Soldier. He has that brief appearance in Endgame as Alexander Pierce. But I don't think they're getting Harrison just for this one gig, especially considering moving forward with Thunderbolt Ross, if he does become the Red Hulk, now you have Harrison who just has to do voice shit.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little bit of mocap. To get his face. But putting Harrison Ford in a role where he has to show up for one movie, walk around and shit, and then for the rest of his tenure as Thunderbolt Ross, show up in human form from time to time, or just have him permanently be a Hulk. There's so many ways to make this so easy for Harrison Ford to play this character. So that's what I'm thinking with this funeral stuff. But time will tell with that one. Moving on here, just doing a quick time check to see how we're doing. Wow, it's already 46 minutes in. This episode's flying by. For us, at least. Maybe you're bashing your head against the wall. Related to Harrison, just a quickie story here. Indiana Jones 5 expected to debut at Cannes Film Festival. This is from Aaron Couch on Hollywood Reporter. The French Fest runs May 16th through the 27th, with Dial of Destiny eyeing a Day 2 or Day 3 debut. It is a homecoming of sorts for the pulpy hero. 15 years ago, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull debuted at Cannes, which has been a launching ground for tentpoles in recent years. Years ago, Paramount's Top Gun Maverick screened at Cannes, and in 2018, Lucasfilm brought Solo, a Star Wars story, to the festival. So yeah, maybe getting some Indy 5 early sizzle at Cannes. That's very exciting. You know what? I think I am going to save my favorite story of the week for last. So, Travis, this is the fun coming together and merger of two things you and I really like, or a thing I like and a thing you really like, I guess I should say. You like God of War.
Yes.
And I like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I would say I also like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
TMNT. Well, I say that because I'm not super into God of War. I say that because I never played it. Do you know what story I'm referring to? Did you see this when it was?
I looked at the notes.
Okay. Did you see this pre the notes?
No.
Okay. I want you to know that when I saw this headline, I laughed out loud, not in like a mocking way, but very like you've seen Andor, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I felt like I had my own version of like Luthen finding out that the Aldani heist worked. I had my own like moment finding out that this was going to happen. A very new, very different style of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle game is currently in development. An adaptation of The Last Ronin, the 2020 graphic novel that told a grim, futuristic story about the Turtles. And it is set to have a God of War style of gameplay. For those of you who are unaware, the Last Ronin storyline is the tale of the last surviving brother of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles going on a quest for revenge in a, I don't want to say post-apocalyptic, but very cyberpunky, very, the worst timeline kind of vibe for the Turtles. I will not spoil which turtle it is. We have discussed that before on the show. But yeah, very excited to experience this game. I've never played much God of War. I do like myself a good old hack and slash. And you can expect me on day one for the Last Ronin video game. I'm so happy this is getting adapted into something.
This just feels perfect.
It does. It really does.
Like it's so correct for the story. And like I haven't read the whole story. I read it up until we found out which turtle it was and then kind of fell off. But the God of War game format, like the newer ones obviously, are so rich with the ability to tell a story via game.
Yeah.
Right? Like the narrative you get, like they told in God of War Ragnarok, was incredible. And I want it to be explored more. I want more studios to be able to do what they did. So this is good.
This is good shit.
Good.
You know, and I will say, like, I wanted to see an adaptation of The Last Ronin so badly. Just I wanted to see it. Just again, I wanted to see it in motion with voices and stuff. And I was so afraid this would get the theatrical treatment. You know, I don't, in the same way that, like, there's certain stories at this point, I don't trust the largely brain dead audience with at this point. I don't trust Hollywood with The Last Ronin because it will do well and they will learn all the wrong lessons. You know, like Star Wars fandom going back to Andor is having its like Dark Knight moment where now like every Star Wars fan is convinced that like things have to be like Andor to be good. And it feels like 2008 and 2012 all over again, with a lot of Star Wars fans going, everybody's everything like Andor. That's like I would be afraid that like we get something like The Last Ronin, and then like a bunch of studios would try to like adapt whatever comic book IP they had their hands on that was also kind of like the worst timeline version of those stories. And I'm glad that's not going to come to pass. Hopefully. But yeah, bringing up the tail end here with one last story that I find so deeply funny.
Speaking of studios learning the wrong lessons and trying to do copies of things and failing miserably.
Sensational. That's his work.
Look at you go, buddy. Look at you go. Are you frozen or are you moving?
Yeah, I did pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
That was great. So, another story from Aaron Couch at Hollywood Reporter. We had just finished recording Teen-Up last week. And then I saw this beautiful story that makes me so happy. So, I don't even think I'm going to read from the article at all because I don't have to. So there was some David F. Sandberg took to social media recently and basically was like, "Yeah, I didn't like Shazam 2 either." To boil it down to very, very bare bones. Or to use, I mean, I'll use the direct quote here. Black Adam's Justice Society of America was originally supposed to appear in Shazam: Fury of the Gods, with David F. Sandberg telling the Hollywood Reporter that scene fell apart 3 days before we were going to roll cameras, forcing him to find an alternate characters at the last minute. And on Tuesday, the Wrap reported that Johnson blocked the appearance of these characters in Fury of the Gods, and that the actor and producer also nixed a potential Zachary Levi cameo in Black Adam. Zachary Levi then screenshot this article, put it on his Insta story, and said, "The truth shall set you free," hurling direct shade at Dwayne Johnson, confirming that Dwayne Johnson had hijacked the production of Black Adam and in some ways of Shazam: Fury of the Gods. disallowing Black Adam's appearance in either or in the films respectively between Shazam and Black Adam. This is in many ways an appropriate death knell for the DCEU.
Yeah.
You know, granted, we still have the Flash into the Batman verse coming out later this year, as well as an Aquaman movie that is going to be tenuously connected to anything somehow, before we get to begin again for real this time next year. And I cannot understate how hilarious this is to me. In the wake of learning about a lot of the production woes that have come to the DC universe that are completely brought on by The Rock, I've never had a big opinion on The Rock. You know, aside from it being funny that he exists.
Right.
You know, he's every movie he's in is just I wear tan and I have muscles in the jungle, you know. Like,
and that's like in a vacuum. Yeah, in a vacuum, you don't think about it, right? Like he's an action hero. He shows up in a movie. He's The Rock. When The Rock shows up, he's The Rock. And then that's it.
There's nothing wrong with that. You know, in a long line of Schwarzeneggers and Stallones and Van Dams and Norrises, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing objectively wrong with that. Sometimes he shows up and he and Kevin Hart make jokes. You know, I'm big, you're little, ha 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 ha. It's fine. I found out about and I found out about this egomaniacal bullshit with The Rock, like shutting Shazam out of a movie that he should have had higher billing in than The Rock would have. Frankly, I turned on Black Adam, or I turned on Black Adam. I turned on The Rock so hard. Like there's nothing I hate more than somebody who can't be a team player.
It's like, because it's the reverse. You would think, oh, he's getting typecast. Like, yeah, he's a big dude. He's, he's a modern day Stallone or Schwarzenegger for the movie space, right? And so you're like, oh, he's getting typecast in these roles. They're pitching him these movies because they think putting him on will make the movie do well. It's the reverse.
Yeah.
It's him saying, I have to be the big action hero that can't take a punch.
Yeah. Yeah. And him basically all but saying the only person I will lose a fight to in a movie is fucking Superman.
Yeah.
And even then, Travis, I would bet my life that fight would have ended in a stalemate.
100%. 100%. Well, because I've some people have talked to me about it out of curiosity. They know where I am in this space. They know what I know, and they're like, "Hey, so how would that fight really go? Like, what would happen?" And I said, "Well, it depends. If we're talking like Superman's just investigating and they're throwing hands because like of a misunderstanding." Superman's going to look like he's getting his, he's taking a punch or two, and then the fight's going to end in a draw, as it usually does with Shazam when they first meet, usually, right?
Yeah.
If you want to talk a one-on-one, like we have to take Black Adam down or something bad's going to happen, you think Superman is going to have a problem with that?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's the other thing that I think is so funny about the way that like Black Adam, like the movie juxtaposes Teth Adam and Superman, is because like the way that they're presented to each other in that very like I gotta take you down if you get out of line. Like, we've already established the stakes are Superman has orders to beat the shit out of Black Adam. So either The Rock was going to bend the DCEU around him, or The Rock was actually going to accept the fact that he can't win every fight he's in a movie. I see one of those as unfortunately being much more likely than the other.
Yeah.
It's just so fucking silly. It is just so silly, and like, I don't want to rag on Zachary Levi too hard, except for the fact that it's really funny too. Him coming off of like everybody realized he was like kind of a weirdo who was like kind of anti-vax, super into Jordan Peterson, infamous cum milker, Jordan Peterson. Google that at your own risk.
I won't.
If you haven't been
I will
listening,
say
it could happen here. Then
I will call people that though today at work.
But you get this bit where like Zachary Levi basically confirms every frustrating thing you've heard about The Rock. And then like a week later, that is also posting these videos. He's like, I've never blamed a single person for how Shazam 2 performed. We're really proud of this movie. We love this movie. People were standing in the way of giving you guys what you wanted. And he's like practically crying in the video because Shazam 2 is dying a slow and embarrassing death at the box office. All for people to then say, that Zachary Levi is looking like the most unemployed man in all of Hollywood. Travis, do you want me to bring you back in? Just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down.
Yeah, sorry, I bumped my USB thing and everything got disconnected for a second.
You're still disconnected from your mic. It's okay. We're winding down here anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much about it at the moment. But yeah, no, it has been one hell of a week. Like there hasn't been like huge news aside from the Johnathon Majors thing, which is very big, but not for like the fun, silly reasons we like to talk about. One more time.
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay.
But yeah, that's I think that's all we got for you guys. Catch me on Comic Book Cast this week, by the way. I right after we're done with this, am going to be recording a Mandalorian review with Mitch. So just throwing that out there while I'm remembering to plug that. Also, Star Wars in a Galaxy, the fellas who make Epic Confrontations, their actual Star Wars podcast, they're celebrating a milestone this week. And I will be on their live stream to celebrate with them. So check that out Sunday night around 7 p.m. Eastern. Ionized Bastards is out now, all 7 episodes. Star Wars RPG, go watch it. I'm in it. I love it. And April 10th, the rematch that will change everything for Epic Confrontations. Travis, we should get you in the Epic Confrontations.
Lordy, I'd have to study.
I think you'd do all right. You never did bad with Star Wars Schmodown.
So here's the thing. Does it cover more than the movies?
It's all canon.
Yeah, see, that's the books. The High Republic books. It would be I would have to min-max so hard, like realistically. Like
min-max so hard.
But like how in the Schmodown people had categories they just couldn't answer. Like they had zero knowledge. That's me, baby. That's me.
Yeah. I've never said this to Eli, but like he's doing a Star Wars trivia league that functions like the Inner Geekdom, only it's only Star Wars.
Yeah, which I could keep up, except for the High Republic. Like I could brush up on my studying and do like
I'm impressed that you think. I don't want to say you think as though like I think you'd like falter with other book stuff. I'm impressed that you're like, oh, I can handle other canon books. It's just High Republic that I'm afraid
Well, like
of.
in general, like when I think books, I think of the High Republic because of how like big of an opening it had.
Yeah.
And that's like because I've heard a lot of the stories of like Queen Shadow and books like that you guys were reading before the High Republic, and those were like newer stories or like stuff from the comics, right? I've seen enough of that being on the internet that I could probably like scrounge up the information and keep it together. I've got nothing on the High Republic.
Well, I will inform you that it would be an even bigger risk because all of that is under the one category of sacred Jedi texts.
So so like the books are a category.
Yeah.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
So I'm telling you there's a chance that you could get anything from Tarkin up to Convergence. Like in that whole
So I just gotta
array.
not spin that category then. Easy peasy.
Yeah. I mean, hey, that's the category that did me in with the infamous Alfrona question.
Yeah, that's just at that point that's just a skill issue. It's gotta not.
I'm getting from everybody now. You're like the only person who hasn't fucked with me on an Alfrona.
I'm not talking
thing.
about. I realize how that sounded. I'm talking about me not spinning the category, not you.
I was like, it's finally complete. Everybody but Travis has been like, Elfrona, fucking loser. I was like, even Travis, goddamn. I ain't got no one in these streets. No one except you, my lord. Explaining epic confrontations to people has been so much fun. We're like, yeah, it's like the movie trivia Shimona. Oh, what's the Shimona? It's like trivia professional wrestling. And they're like, okay. And I'm like, yeah, so it's like we have like our own like Star Wars one because the Shimona is around. And you're like, oh, that's really cool. Like, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm like one of the big, heels. What's a heel? Like one of the bad guys. Oh, what's your shtick? I'm possessed by an evil pan-dimensional cookie jar.
Yeah.
And when somebody doesn't check out right after I say that, I know I've made a friend for the rest of my life.
That's a good litmus test. I'm gonna be honest.
What wild, insane bitcraft can you stomach with us? Anyway, Travis, where can the lovely people find you, my friend?
They can find me on Twitter, not posting at Travis Political. Also, like most of the other places, it's the same name. Jared.
Yes.
Where?
You guys can find me on Twitter and Instagram at DarkJedi2552, and you can find the Nerd Academy podcast on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and on our website, www.thenerdacademypodcast.com, where if you're feeling generous, you can donate to our Patreon.
Give me $1.
Speaking of our patrons, thank you to our $10 alumnus, Keandre Lloyd. And to Paco, or as he's going by on our Patreon, $1.5 billion, baby.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
From the front lines of the information war, it's Alex Jones.
I do also want to say that we have a new $5 patron on in our midst. A gentleman going by Mr. McFeely, who regular viewers will know as our former professor, Mr. Levi. So thank you guys on that one. I'm checking the Patreon right now because I was like, oh, I meant to check recently. I don't. One moment. They might actually have a new $10 patron. Nope, never mind. Okay. That was an old person, and I was like, wait a minute, that doesn't look right. I didn't have the filter on correctly. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Speaking of our $5 patrons, you guys get access to the Knights of the Nerd Republic versus series. April 1st, you guys will be getting the next episode, which is Kane and Jarrus versus Riva, which is a lot of fun to do. Like I said, this season, we're getting out of our comfort zone. So using a character like Riva, who technically only has one lightsaber duel that she loses in, was kind of difficult. But that was the point. So tune in for that. We also have a little something special coming out for you on April 1st as all things go according to plan. Stay tuned for that. That will not be a Patreon exclusive. But it is related to the Versus series. So check all of that out. Like I gave all of the plugs earlier, Epic Confrontations, rematch on April 10th, Ionized Bastards, All Remaining Systems YouTube channel, and Star Wars in a Galaxy on Sunday. See you guys there. Like I said, this will be the last time you see us on the main show for about 2 weeks while I am in Louisiana. And I think Travis will be taking a bite out of the Big Apple, if I'm not mistaken.
No, that's at the end of April. I am singing in that choir that I'm going with. 2 weeks-ish is our concert, so fun times.
Okay. So there is a concert. I just put that together with the
right.
New York stuff. Okay. I'm not too far off.
No, you're very close, as a matter of fact.
Well, I'll take it. Anyway, guys, thank you all so very much for watching and listening. And class dismissed.
On which planet did
I
Luke
can tell
Skywalker
you everything
and Ben Solo
about this planet,
confront the Knights of Ren in
except
the
its
second
motherfucking name.
Buy merch. Your winner by way of technical knockout.
We have some beautiful magicians.
I am the king. I am the reigning champion. I will always be above you. I am bigger than you. I am wiser than you. I am stronger than you. I am better than you. I am God.
Hi, I'm Jarod, the Trivia Loser Jedi.
And I'm Scooter.
And we're here to tell you that we aren't that great at trivia. And I mean, we're downright poo-poo at it. Yeah, ever since then I've been dogging Scotty to step back in the ring with me. No questions about El Frono will be asked, and it'll be a good time this April. Now I have this like imaginary rivalry with you in my fucking head, where it's like, I want J-Ro!
Jared, you lost to me in trivia. You're a loser. You're a loser. I will not. You lost to me in trivia.
Jared lost to me in trivia. That charlatan friend, mind you, who has been ducking me and running from me for years now.
Your lust for J-Ro will destroy you.
And you will learn to rue the day you underestimated the power of the Bi Republic.
Is this your king? Is this your king?
Think about the things you applied to content creating and the things that you maybe have held you hold to a high standard that people also love, and there's that one little dark spot in all of this, and you're like, man, I can't believe that I've gotten this far and just being a part of a bigger community, but there's this one little black spot in this beautiful Monet of a painting, and it's just the fact that I kicked your ass in trivia. Literally nothing makes me happier.
Stop! Stop! Move away from the cookie jar!